at the Sports Academy at the Star in Frisco, Texas for Tezos, Who's Number One, presented by Fat Tire, brought to you by FloGrappling. The #1 no-gi grappling event of the year is right here in Dallas, Texas. We're about to get things underway. We have 9 15-minute submission-only no-gi matches lined up, and Chase, it's a hell of a night.
Oh, I couldn't think of a better way to kick off the new year. We have Craig Jones taking on Pedro Marinho in the main event for the light heavyweight title. That is a guaranteed scrap, and there's 3 belts on the line in total, Hal.
Yeah, it's a wild night. We've got a little bit of everything for you tonight. Has Chase said 3 title matches on the line. We have the 170-pound belt, Tyro Tolo versus Levi Jones-Leary, and Mikey Musumeci making his first title defense of the bantamweight title, the 135-pound title against Esteban Martinez. But let's take a look at the lineup. 9 matches starting off at the top. Kimoy Anderson versus Gino Morelli will get things started here underway, but we have a packed lineup from start to finish. Only the very best no-gi grapplers here at Tezos, Who's Number One. And man, I don't know about you, Chase, but this main event has me intrigued. Craig Jones versus Pedro Marinho. You have, of course, Australia's deadliest mammal. Craig Jones, now based in Austin, Texas, taking on the Houston resident, Pedro Marinho, who took double gold at the No-Gi World Championships last year.
That's right. The real question is, will Craig Jones employ his power bottom game or actually wrestle? We'll see. Of course, that's a dangerous task against Pedro Marinho either way it goes.
Well, there is a lot of action to look forward to here, and I think the best thing to do is an explainer about exactly what the rules are that we use here at Who's Number One, and then we can get things underway.
Welcome to Who's Number One, the premier proving ground for the world's best grapplers. And now right here on this very stage, 2 grapplers will enter and only one will leave victorious. All matches are 15 minutes in length, except where otherwise noted, with no points, no advantages, and no interruptions. Just elite, competitive grappling. There are 2 ways to win. The first is, of course, the most preferred, by submission. And here at Who's Number One, all submissions are legal. Heel hooks, arm bars, twisters, and beyond, the world's best have all the tools at their disposal. And if at any point either competitor taps, the match is over. But if there isn't a submission, we will rely on 3 neutral side judges to determine a winner. Their decision will be based on our Who's Number One judging criteria, which is unique to this mat. Now, above all, we are looking for aggression. That means never taking a backward step and moving forward at all costs. We're looking for dangerous submission attacks. That means attempts that will result in a near submission, okay? Leave your 50-50 ankle locks at home. We don't need them. And if it doesn't result in a reaction or a hyperextension, they simply won't count. And finally, positional control. That means guard passes, mount, back takes, anything that leads to positional dominance. The match will be judged in its entirety, and the person with the better display of effective grappling skill will get their hand raised. The referee is also neutral and does not take part in the judge's decisions. His role is purely to control the action on the mats and reset the action should it go out of bounds. This is elite grappling competition at its purest form. A showcase for the world's best grapplers on the world's biggest stage. Just the best fighting the best. It's the only way to truly find out who's number one.
I am so excited after that video. It is time to get things underway here at Tezos, Who's Number One. Let's head over to Jeff Houston for our official introduction to the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to the Sports Academy at the Star, a stone throw away from Dallas, Texas, here in beautiful Frisco, Texas, where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the pound-for-pound best grapplers in the world take to the mat as Tezos Who's Number One, live worldwide on FloGrappling, presented by Fat Tire. We are now set, ladies and gentlemen, for our opening match of the evening in the middleweight division with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first out of the blue corner, representing Revolution Dojo, Houston, Texas. Please welcome Gino Morelli.
MMA career, but testing his skills further in the grappling arena.
That's right. He's also the 2021 IBJJF Blue Belt Nogi World Champion. But this is not your average Blue Belt, Hal, and he's here to put on a show.
No, a former Penn State wrestler, 2-0 in MMA, now a purple belt, and often training with the B team in Austin, Texas. Looking forward to seeing what Gino Morelli has for us here at Tezos, who's number 1.
And his opponent out of the red corner, representing 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Austin, Texas. Here is Kimoy Anderson.
Another representative of the esteemed 10th Planet Network, originally hailing from New York, now based in Austin, Texas. Kimoy Anderson brings a wealth of grappling experience to Who's Number 1, Chase.
That's right. Kimoy was keen to say that while he respects Morelli's wrestling credentials, this is a jiu-jitsu match, a submission wrestling match, and he has better skills to take home the victory.
Our head referee, Gabriel Martins, is in the center of the mat, ready to get things underway here. The last second instructions for our competitors, backed up by a very powerful team indeed of referees and judges. And we're about ready to get things underway here at Tezos, Who's Number 1.
Let's go, guys.
Fight! Clock starts, 15-minute match. Big question is, of course, will it go the distance? We also have Kendall Rusing here on the call with us. Kendall, once again, helping to bring that technical expertise and help break down some of the biggest moments here.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's interesting to note that Gino got his purple belt in January of this year. So it is a purple against a brown belt, but it's a brand new purple belt as well, just this month. So really excited to see how they match up.
You know, I do wonder, though, if that makes a difference here at Who's Number 1, because the belt system in jiu-jitsu is incredibly important. It's a huge part of the tradition of grappling, but these are not your average grapplers, right? Are the belts really reflective of their skill level?
It's hard to say, but we did just see the 2021 Grappler of the Year award go to a, well, he was a brown belt for most of that year, but now he's a black belt, Cade Ruotola. So, to your point, Hal, yeah, maybe it is. The discrepancies are shifting.
One thing I really like seeing here is Gino's use of a really heavy collar tie with the right hand. He obviously has a very strong wrestling background, but big, heavy snaps here and kind of reaching between the head and the leg, setting up, making sure to play off the head and leg with each other.
And of course, this is a submission-only match. No points for takedowns, no points for control positions or pins. The objective is to use those techniques to control your opponent in search of a submission. But is anybody here? Oh, okay, now so. I was going to say, is anybody surprised that Kimoy was feeling out Morelli's wrestling for so long? Because you would have imagined that the jiu-jitsu guy would be quick to pull guard, but the opposite was true.
A quick show at a leaping guard pass there from Morelli. I think Kimoy might have just been warming up, right? No better way to get us sweating than to wrestle, especially when points aren't a factor.
Big pressure here from top position already. It's a half butterfly guard, and he's already got the underhook and the powerful crossface here on top.
I really love this position for Gino, but one thing that wrestlers oftentimes have a hard time with is dealing with these half butterfly hooks, like Kimoy has with his left leg here, because you feel like you're smashing through the guard, but at any moment you're going to be elevated and flipped over. Of course, you know, he is a jiu-jitsu guy too, so don't want to downplay that, but wrestlers, I find, and myself included, have a hard time adjusting to that, and so he gets put back into like a more full butterfly guard here, as we're seeing.
Now you have to wonder if Morelli brings his hips high, will Anderson look to go underneath in search of a leg? But when we mentioned Morelli, he's based in Houston. He has been seen training on the mats with Craig Jones and the team there, the B team in Austin, Texas. So it's fast becoming one of the hottest destinations for any no-gi grappler all over the world.
I really like the use of he's trying to shut down the left underhook of Kimoy. Gino's trying to like either close the whizzer or swing back inside, but that underhook is so powerful that it continues to elevate him over, and so he chooses to back out instead of continue to drive forward. Probably a smart choice to disengage.
Morelli on the outside, of course. will have to stay engaged with his opponents. A little reminder of the rules here, who's number one, that we do not permit stalling, passivity, or a lack of engagement, but not an issue so far, because those resets, they're an important part of the strategy.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Am I looking to wrap up an ankle here?
Straight ankle.
Ooh, big kick out for Gino. That was really smart using the pressure on the hamstring, but big pressure now.
Sorry, I decided that he came up on top so quickly, and this is actually great for him, right? Because the best thing you want to do with the wrestler is put them on their back. And let's see what Morelli has from guard here.
Man, you know, it is not easy to put a wrestler on their back, much less hold them there. And Morelli doing a good job of framing away and resetting back up to his feet. That was an interesting tactic there from Anderson, using those legs, to, as you said, Chase, to get to top position. Maybe that was his chance. And Morelli, I'm not so sure that he's going to let that happen again.
I think it was pretty clear Gino didn't want to play on the bottom.
Morelli's past the guard here now.
Wow, full pass here, cleared both the legs and the hips. And great body lock control with the right hand and head control with the left hand. Very strong crossface.
Of course, the control positions can lead to any number of attacks, but simply pinging your opponent is not enough necessarily to win here at Tezos, who's number one, because you need to be advancing your position and putting your opponent in danger. That's the key, right?
Absolutely. And you have to wonder at this position if we'll see a look at a buggy choke. I feel like 2021 was the year of the buggy choke, right? We saw it everywhere. But Kamui so far has had no interest in trying that yet.
Yeah, and we're going to find out, too, in about 30 seconds who the judges are favoring. It doesn't mean that it goes by rounds or they're being counted as a vote or anything like that. But we will find out at the 5-minute mark what the judges are thinking, where they're at, kind of give an indication of who they think is in control of the match so far. Big forearm there as he's looking for the underhook or the head wrap or the hand on the other side of the body. But Kimura doing a great job with his frames. Up until now, he wasn't able to reach this.
Okay, so far, I think that maybe this extended period in side control right here and the guard pass, probably the most effective grappling that has taken place in this match so far. The near reversal from Anderson there earlier, now looking to advance by going to the knee right as well. The key here, though, is we know that Morelli likes chokes. We've seen him at the No-Gi World Championships in last October. He demonstrated that, as many wrestlers do, they come in and they're able to adapt the head control so easily and start picking up things like DOS and front headlocks. And Morelli, man, also at the ADCC trials, he was putting people to sleep with those. So I think Anderson's going to be very aware of those.
Yeah, Morelli looks to maybe be chasing the back, settles him out instead. In a very dominant position here at the 9-minute mark. Strong showing from a brand new purple belt.
What do you think, Kendall? I'm interested to hear your take on that, whether the mount will offer him a better opportunity to finish this match than side control may have.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely, because Kimura's doing such a good job with the frames on the bottom. I think it's hard to tell if you're not used to feeling the pressure of like a really great wrestler in a top pinning position, but it is, he was fighting very hard to escape side control there. It didn't look like a lot was happening, but he was really, really working to escape. So now I think from this top half guard position, Kimura's going to be working to swim that left half butterfly back inside, but if he can't, the pressure is going to be very strong here, including the hand over the mouth control by Morelli with the left side.
Yeah, he's using that smother and
forearm in the neck.
Now the forearm and the neck, but it's an important tactic as well. And we saw the Ruotolo brothers use it so much last year, and it's become one of those things, hasn't it? That it's entered the kind of the common grappling parlance that everybody seems to be going for it. But now Anderson's on his side. This is good. If we get in a little bit closer, we can see the important details here. But the angle here, he's got that little bit of a knee sheet, he's got the underhook, but man, Morelli's pressure is so heavy, he's killing that underhook.
Yeah, and there was a very, very brief look at a Darce there for a second. We see him maybe threading that again. He's definitely thinking about it, but so far Kamoi's doing a good job of keeping that underhook high. If he lets it drop, though, that could be dangerous.
Yeah, Morelli's doing a great job at headhunting when the re-guard is threatened. So Kimura's looking for a half guard, he's going for the underhook, and then we see Gino searching for the head each time. It kind of makes Kimura bail from the guard recovery or the sweep and then start defending his neck, which opens the pass back up, which is exactly what we're seeing here.
Exactly what we see, but that was a great escape there from Kamui Anderson, going for the shoulder crunch, going high here. Manages to get that underhook to work for the first time, really. And in a much better position from which to counterattack. And I gotta have to say, I'm very impressed by Anderson's composure on bottom. Has never panicked under some serious pressure. And man, he's answering straight back with his own attacks.
Yeah, great defensive awareness from Kamui there. But Morelli really controlling the pacing of this match. Been fairly dominant positioning throughout. Kamui's going to have to get off some real offense here if he wants to turn the tide.
Yeah, again with that left side half butterfly. So we know this is a very strong position for Anderson. He's not only used it to escape, but starting to look to get some sweep pressure to elevate and get underneath. It will be interesting to see if he goes in for the legs. I think that shoulder crunch position is working very well for him, but entering the legs or trying to put Morelli on his back, I think is going to be the answer here.
That's a good squeeze. That's a great clinch there from Anderson. See that Morelli is trying to posture up out of it, trying to shake his hips a little bit as well. Full butterfly guard with that shoulder crunch. Could see a reverse arm lock here.
Yeah, I'm really trying to rotate his right elbow inside so that he can take the pressure off the shoulder and the elbow, but very hard to do, and Anderson's keeping his left elbow so tight.
See, Anderson, I think, maybe aware of that arm lock. You see, he's not trying to pull his head up and out just yet because that could expose the arm. Doing so on his terms, but he's going to have to be careful of that elbow. Dangerously exposed here.
I think Morelli's being very smart and patient here. You don't want to try to rip your arm out of this too hastily because that arm lock is getting tight, but now the patience paid off. He's back into some heavy pressure again with this crossface.
And always passing to the same side, we see. And this is very common, isn't it? That everybody seems to have a preferred side in grappling. But look at that. Uses the opportunity to jump over to the other side.
He heard you. Jumped right over here.
Very possibly. Look at the hand all the way around the back as well, Kendall. You can see that Gino Morelli's left hand all the way around the waist. That's going to make it very difficult for Anderson.
Judges favor Gino Morelli.
So the second judge's favor goes to Gino again. Not a surprise here. He's been very dominant on top. Back into the mount, which I agree. I think this is a better finishing position for him than side control. But Anderson doing a great job of continuing to recover half guard on both sides now. But he is locking up an arm triangle here. If we see his right arm's very, very tight, going to try to walk the left arm up and maybe swim his head to the other side of the armpit.
Yeah, as soon as that elbow starts coming away from the ribs like that, it's dangerous, right? You can see that Morelli, if he gets his right ear to the tricep of Anderson's right arm, you can kind of see Anderson's, I think, a little frustrated here. He's a little kind of, what I got to do here? The guy's going to attack or not? But I think, man, you gotta work just as hard to escape as the guy has to work to hold you down, right?
Yeah, when there's a submission in play, a referee cannot really, decide if they're stalling because he's working for a submission, right? It's typically the rule there. So I think Gino was being pretty active.
Oh, getting maybe a little overcommitted there from Gino, but good job. Facing back into Kamui there.
One thing I know from experience, though, is like trying to beat a wrestler in that dogfight position is nigh impossible. But you see that Morelli escapes unscathed.
It's probably the worst position to put yourself in with a wrestler is the dogfight position. Whether you have the wizard or the underhook, it's really, really difficult to control. But it almost looked like Kamui was going to look for the back at that point. It was pretty close. But another big set of heavy pressure from Gino once again.
Yeah, definitely not afraid to make things a little gritty. You love to see it. It's the kind of aggression we'd like to see kick off the night here at WNO.
Nice inversion here, Mikey. We're looking, he's in on the leg. He is in this cross-arching position, attacking the top leg, and almost losing the knee line, though.
He's doing his best to suck it back in, but Gino seems to have extracted himself. But great look from Kamui there, mixing things up and using the pressure to his advantage when he can.
Yeah, that's absolutely, I think, a better path to victory for Kamui if he can invert again and go into that cross-arching position or into the legs. But Gino had a great awareness of it, too. As soon as he felt in danger, he started clearing the knee line and moving his knee out of danger.
You don't need to be an expert, right? You don't need to be a leg locker, but training with some really good leg lock guys at least gives you that situational awareness of how to escape unscathed, right? Again, that shoulder pressure driving forward there onto the chin.
I really love the use of of Kimoi's half butterfly on the left side. It's just keeping him safe. But it's not seemingly enough to fire off his own attacks other than that one, the one almost sweep and then the one almost cross, or the cross hashi attempt. So I hope to see him try to get into that same position again.
Back on the outside. Anderson tries to draw Morelli in. He's got the wrap on that other arm now. Rather than fighting for the underhook, he's got the deep overhook now. Of course, that opens up its own series of attacks.
Just 2 minutes remaining now left in this match, and you'd love to see this kind of work rate from both these guys. Really non-stop action throughout this entire match so far.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to see a lot from Anderson if he hopes to turn the tide. So, you know, with 140 left, I think we can expect a bit more insistence here from him. Maybe going high with that leg, looking for a triangle here. And it's almost on, but his right leg is trapped.
Look at this. He could go for the omoplata or even a go-go plata here. The classic 10th Planet series of attacks.
His right leg is trapped underneath. He's going to have to free his right foot to get these attacks off.
Testing the flexibility of Anderson. Anderson loses the ankle on the top of the back, and Morelli postures up out of danger. With 1 minute left, I feel that was maybe Anderson's chance, and it's going to be hard to get him back into those kind of positions. But Morelli needs to stay busy. He needs to go forward.
Yeah, one thing about really high-level wrestlers is the pace is really, really hard to match. So Morelli, look, I mean, he hasn't slowed down. He knows he's ahead, or at least he feels confident that he's ahead, but he's moving back and forth. Oh, big cartwheel into the closed guard.
You know, let's remind our viewers that 15 minutes is a long time to sustain that kind of effort, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we think about, you know, IBJJF the longest matches there are 10 minutes, so it's not many organizations you see go longer than that. Most competitors don't train for longer than that unless it's a specific event like this.
Well, I mean, you've been there. You've been in these matches to go on the 15 minutes and longer, and you know better than anybody the effort required to compete to that level.
Big guillotine attempt here from Anderson. No, he doesn't have his right arm under. He has his right arm behind the leg. Interesting grip there with 10 seconds left. Yeah, 15 minutes, very long time. You have to train specifically for it or you're not going to be prepared. Absolutely.
Time will expire here in our first match of the evening at Tezos, who's number 1. We will go to a decision. Our referee, Gabriel Machines, will bring them into the center of the mat. Now, it is unanimous for blue, Gino Morelli.
Your winner by unanimous decision, Gino Morelli.
Former Penn State wrestler, professional MMA fighter, and now victorious at the Tezos, who's number 1, mats. A pretty powerful display. What did you make of that?
Like you said, powerful is the word that comes to mind. Amazing pressure, great passing all around, good submission awareness. I think it's just the beginning for him here, who's number 1.
Well, hopefully we'll get a look at some of the best moments. Here we are, a little replay of the action here. And Morelli, it's pretty clear, and Kendall, I'm sure you would recognize that wrestling transitioned very well into the grappling arena.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're wrestling, I think wrestlers have 2 big challenges when they come in. Not getting guillotined and triangled, and then not getting put on their back. And he did a great job of both here. Great awareness, great attacks.
Ooh. A little look at the legs there and trying to go high with the shoulder crunch, but Morelli was able to handle all of those. Well, it's time to hear from our winner, Gino Morelli. Put that headset on if you can, please, Gino, so we can talk to each other. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
We can indeed. Thank you very much. Man, what an excellent performance here. Our first match of the evening at Tezos, who's number 1. And I gotta say, for anybody who wasn't aware, they probably would have deduced pretty quickly from watching you compete that you have a wrestling background, and you were able to take that skill set and you've made that transition into grappling very well. Tell me, how's it gone for you?
Yeah, it's going good. I was hoping to stand up a little bit more in this match. Try and hit some flashy stuff on my feet. still trying to advance my submission game. I do a lot of front headlock stuff, so I was looking for that, but he had a good base on his butt. It was hard to pull him to his knees and get him to turtle. So really good job by him.
There were some interesting technical exchanges in that match there. There were a number of submission threats that you seemed to shut down early and you were able to escape from. But tell me, what do you think was the key to victory for you in this match against Anderson?
I think for me, just holding position well, and I could tell that he was going to explode as soon as I let go of his back when I was in side control. So I was trying to cinch him down. This is my first time doing a 15-minute match. Wrestling 7, so trying to conserve energy and make him tired working off bottom.
Well, an excellent performance indeed here, and just goes to show that that transition is going pretty well for you, huh? From wrestling to MMA, and now here to grappling. Who's number one? You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked to have it been a little bit more of an exciting match. So next time I'm here, I'll try and make it a little bit more flashy for you guys.
Well, we look forward to it. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Gino Morelli.
Thank you.
That's it, our first match done and dusted here at Tezos, Who's Number One, but we have more coming up. A light heavyweight match, Michael Pixie versus Cameron Reed. We'll be right back.
This Tezos Who's Number One is brought to you by Tezos, the energy-efficient blockchain and official partner of Flow Sports. Tezos. Presented by Defense Soap, now the official soap and body wipe of FloGrappling, protecting you for over 15 years. Defend what you have built.
Yeah, business as usual. Yeah, facing that way.
With a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first to the mat, out of the blue corner, representing Pedigo Submission Fighting, Mount Vernon, Illinois. Please welcome Michael Pixley.
Another athlete to transition from the world's oldest martial art and make his way into the jiu-jitsu arena. Michael Pixley has a very interesting wrestling background himself, and much like Morelli, who we saw earlier, a standout wrestler turned grappler and looking to display his skills here in one of our prelim matches here at Tezos Who's Number One. Training with the Pedigo crew, that's a pretty good start.
That's right, he took home gold at Nogi World, 4 matches, 4 quick submissions. He's loving this new turn in his grappling career.
And introducing his opponent out of the red corner, representing 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Gulf Shores, Alabama, here is Cameron Reed.
Cameron Reed campaigned vociferously for his opportunity to compete here on Who's Number One, and very intense character. And though they were respectful and professional in the media day yesterday, the press conference and such, there's a little bit of heat between these two guys.
There's a lot of heat here, Hal. On that gold medal campaign by Pixley, he defeated this man in front of him today, and that was not an easy match.
And now we are ready to get underway here at Who's Number One.
Are you ready?
Fight. On the left, in the blue, is Michael Pixley. In the black, Cameron Reed. Reed may be aware of Pixley's wrestling pedigree, immediately looks to sit and to pull guard, because Pixley, man, he came out of the blocks there, running across the mat
That
at
was
him.
definitely a big blast double waiting to happen.
He wasn't aware, he was
it was
reminded.
ready. It wasn't really a choice, I don't think.
I mean, we mentioned Reed's intensity. Pixley is as intense as they come. I think people may be surprised to see him. He's very respectful, very polite, but man, I'm not sure I want to stand in front of him across a mat.
No, he's quiet, and but he's very intense. You saw him slap the hand off of his face right now. So the backstory here is that Pixley was winning. I think it was the 3rd round of the Nogi Worlds, and he got slapped. Got slapped in the match. He was winning 9-0, and the slap came in. Cameron lost in the last, I think, 2 seconds at the very end. Cameron says that it was not a loss. So now we
look
wanted
at
the
this
rematch.
now. He gets around into the north-south already, looking to pin those arms down and go around that neck. And Pixley has a deadly choke series. Man, he really does. We've seen him tap people out with guillotines, with darces, and he is a headhunter. So this is a great position from which to set up some of those attacks.
Yeah, I don't think he could be happier at 13 minutes into the match being in this position here. So much time to work. Also very little sweat here, very sticky, and he has every opportunity to take the lead in this match.
Yeah, Pixie's definitely a headhunter, like you guys said before. We've seen him finish a lot of Darces and a lot of Anacondas. And so right here in North-South, we're about as happy as he can be, like you said. Cameron really, really wanted the rematch after Nogi Worlds. Said it wasn't really a loss because there was a DQ, so there's definitely a little bit of bad blood coming into this
man,
fight.
they got reset in a very, very tight position here. It looks like he could be very close to getting that north-south choke.
Yeah, arm in, no less.
Yeah, I believe his hands are locked on the other side, so if so, it's very, very tight already.
Well, we'll see what Reed does here, because if he's to turn in, I mean, that could just give Pixley the opportunity to switch to a Darce or an Anaconda, and I don't think he's going to let this grip go for anything.
And he releases it right, he said, but he grabs his hand. Now his hands are connected, though, just on the head.
This is a big crank as well.
Oh, that looks miserable.
Wow, let's go, but not just the choke there. Don't forget the spinal attack. All submissions illegal here, who's number one.
Cameron's seemingly really interested to reach up towards Pixley's face. So I think we might see a little bit more aggression come into the fight. Yeah, Pixley controlling the head a little bit more here, kind of firing back a little bit at Cameron.
Yeah, Reed having a hard time really getting any kind of grip right. He's really reactive at the moment, not getting into position that he would prefer. Pixley picking and choosing his passing attempts at will at the moment here.
It is so hard to hand fight with a wrestler, right? Because they, of course, they've grown up. Their entire career has been no-gi hand fighting from day one. And jiu-jitsu guys, man, we want to make contact with our opponents, but sometimes it's not that easy. A wrestler just knows how to win that battle.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just really aware positionally. I mean, and right now we see a really great sequences by Pixley kind of wrapping his hands through the legs to pass. But I like that both athletes seem kind of composed here, not really in a big rush. Big body lock, though, from here. Pixley over to the right. Smooth.
That was so smooth.
Yeah, just like you were saying, uses the awareness of the hand fighting, the positioning of the hips. Just as soon as he locked that body lock, he was already past.
And he hasn't let the grip go as yet. You can see that Reed is framing from bottom. But Pixley has got a very tight control, and it can actually suck the energy out of your opponent.
I was just thinking, wrestlers have no problem just making your life miserable, squeezing, weighing on you, attacking you emotionally. And I think we're seeing some of that out there.
Attacking emotionally is a great way to put it, for sure. And so far, this is looking really similar, actually, to their match that they had at the Nogi Worlds. A takedown, a couple passes, some Darce attempts. But now Cameron kind of looking up, kind of making a what's going on motion with his hands here, as Pixley keeps the body lock so far.
I mean, I think that it's pretty clear what's going on. Pixley is wearing him down, and now he lets go of that grip, and he's going to try and go a little bit higher upon the body.
Well, sometimes it's nice to keep that body lock to force your partner to be frustrated and start framing really hard to expose the arms for the chokes and for the arm attacks. So I think that's exactly what we saw, and as he exposed the arms, he moved up to this head and arm control, which is very, very powerful.
Good frame on bottom. I like that right arm from Reed, the way that he's keeping the lat grip with the elbow in nice and tight. Of course, if that elbow comes away too far, look to Pixie to go high with possible katakatami or arm triangle choke. We're not seeing too much bridging or bumping from bottom from Reed. And he needs to get his guard back. He needs to improve his position. It's not enough just to hang out here, right?
No, this is an absolutely horrible position for him to stay in, but we see Pixley bumping gets the rest. Yep, judges go favor Pixley. We see him moving the elbow up to look to go to an arm triangle, but not only for the arm triangle, it really is a lot easier to go into knee on stomach or to the mount when that far arm is cleared, because they can't push the knee down the frame. So I could see him advancing the position to knee on belly or mount, or just going straight for the submission as well.
You look over to the corner of Michael Pixley and you see Jacob Couch, who will be competing here later tonight in a light heavyweight bout. And of course, the Pedigo Submission Fighting founder, Heath Pedigo. Of course, you can learn more about those gentlemen and the rest of the Pedigo Submission Fighting team in our Daisy Fresh series. 2 full seasons on FloGrappling.com, the 3rd in production right now, and I believe that you'll probably see a lot of Pixley's exploits in that upcoming season.
Nice re-guard here by Reed, and then right back to, attacking the face and the head with his hand, maybe trying to frustrate Pixley a little bit here. Pixley went a little too high on the head and lost the side control position.
Yeah, at this point in the match, Cameron needs to do more than just annoy Pixley. He's got some serious ground to make up, and right now he just hasn't found an answer for the pressure, as well as the distance management from Pixley. Really controlling the tempo throughout this match so far. Still time to work, with 8.5 minutes left.
Oh yeah, we're not even halfway through this match so far, and Reed he's weathered the storm, but there is that little
exchanges.
Yeah.
Exchanges of the forehead, some smiles too. I think Reed likes that. I think that's where he wants to take the match. I mean, obviously, he did get DQ'd for a slap in Ogi World, so I think he's definitely not afraid of that action, but it's not something that we necessarily are looking for here, who's number 1.
Look at that body lock, though, once again, and you can see Jacob Couch talking his teammate through these technical exchanges. Couch, of course, has a lot of experience under who's number 1 rules. Took 3rd place at the WNO Championship last September. And I like this, Will. Let's take a look at the technique here. Let's go back to the action. I love seeing this. Another guard pass, but that was a great last-second guard recovery by Reed.
Yeah, greater guard recovery by Reed, but I really like the side-to-side action from Pixley, finding the openings in whichever direction the hips are not facing.
Yeah, Pixley was also going for some new looks there, chasing the back a little bit, thinking about, okay, how can I actually get to a little bit better place to submit my opponent here? It's the kind of creativity you need after several minutes to assess your opponent's initial reactions here.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind is that when these gentlemen fought before, is a 6-minute match, right? So that's a very different situation than a 15-minute match here. We see the foot come over.
Look at this. Reed is going for a go-go plata here. He has the foot across the face, doesn't quite have the foot underneath the chin, but he could switch the omoplata here. This is a powerful attack, and this is classic 10th Planet, but Pixley rips his arm out. That was probably Reed's best attack in the match so far.
Definitely has to be encouraging for him.
Absolutely. I think his... it looks like Pixley might be slowing down the pace just a little bit here, and like I said, their matches are normally 6 minutes. For Blue Belt is a big jump up to 15.
Yeah, great point, especially considering he came from wrestling where, 7-minute matches were more the standard, so this could be deep waters here for Pixley.
Another big palm from Reed. At the same time, though, in the room at PSF, they do, rounds that long all the time. So this guy has got an incredible gas tank. I'm not totally sure what circuits he normally plays in. I don't really know the time length he's used to, but you got to imagine that both the guys get this call for this match. They know what they're getting themselves into. They're training for 15-minute fights.
For sure. Cameron Reed, based out of Gulf Shores, Alabama, training with 10th Planet, and 10th Planet, they train for these kind of matches. They're not training for points. They're not training those kind of strategies. They are probably the best-known team for focusing on submission-only jiu-jitsu and grappling tournaments, and I'm sure that he'll have spent plenty of time in these positions, but that body lock, though, look at that. The Pixley just cannot be budged.
Yeah, even with all that pressure from the 2 arms, it was still super tight. But now back in on another body lock here, moving to the right-hand side. We're going to find out in about 20 seconds here where the judges' heads are at, where they think, who they think is leading the charge here in the match, who's making the most decisive jiu-jitsu, effective jiu-jitsu decisions here.
A little bit of footwork now from Pixley, side to side, just kind of a brief reset. But back in, he definitely likes this body lock pass. It's been working so well for him all evening.
Judges favor Michael Pixley.
Yeah, that's the second judge's favor for Pixley, and no surprise, really.
Yeah, it's interesting. Reed's done a good job in recovering the guard, but he hasn't really, other than that one look at the omoplata or gogo plata, he hasn't been able to get in his own attacks or really any even dominant guard position. So Pixley's been in a lot of control, but in the last 5 minutes, a lot can change when people start to get tired or people start to, find openings, things get slippery, and that changes a lot about the positions as well. But right back into the same body lock, double butterfly guard position with 2 hands on the face, big frame from Reed.
And where Pixley was passing with ease early in this match from those early positions, we can see he's definitely beginning to fade. He's looking to back out, reset in a safe manner instead of commit where he might not have the gas to finish. So you have to think Cameron needs to start turning it up now because this is his opportunity.
Yeah, I think that might be, that exactly like you said, that's the opportunity. This is the opening. If he's going to push, he needs to push now, right? Because if not, he's going to continue to fatigue as well as Pixley brings all this heavy pressure on the top position. And we've seen this same exchange now, 3 or 4 times. So it's going to be a battle of who's going to push more, who's going to get the pass, who's going to start to enter position from the bottom.
And it's not enough for Pixley just to hold on to that body lock and back out. He needs to work to improve his position. And you see now Reed is actually the one kind of chasing after Pixley. He's scooting forward, trying to get hold of him.
Yeah, a little more mat control here from Reed. But right as I say that, Pixley in on a big knee cut attempt and going back to the center of the mat himself. Interesting, earlier Pixley was doing a little more passing from the feet and kind of cutting the angle and then closing the space, whereas now it seems he's closing the space and then trying to cut the angle, which can be very, very hard when you're passing. A lot of times we see great passers create an angle of opening and then shoot in and start on the pass, which is what he was doing in the beginning. But now he's going right into the center, and as I say that,
there it is.
Of course, jumps right over into a beautiful pass.
That was great footwork from Pixley there, hopping over the left leg of Reed and settling down into this pin again. But of course, simply holding your opponent down is not the aim here. The aim is to finish by submission. So will he go high? Will he try and transition into a neck attack? It's what he's been looking for earlier, but Reed's defense has been pretty solid.
Yeah, Reed just not overcommitting. He may feel safe, kind of shelled up here, framing away when he can. Obviously under immense pressure from Pixley, but again, pretty rare to see tapping from pressure alone. So
yeah, but it's not going to be enough. With a little over 2 minutes left, Reed really has to start to get some of his own attacks. Good defense is not going to win him this match. And now Pixley, gets to conserve a little bit of his energy for a second before he goes in for the attack, it seems. So he's probably going to start moving towards the head and arm. We may see some darces, some Americanas. some darces, some anacondas, arm triangles. Same guillotines we were seeing earlier, maybe north-south.
And I think the difference is Reed as well. That earlier we saw when on bottom, he was purely defensive. He was very calm. He knew he had time to work. He's looking up at the clock constantly, and he's getting a little bit more active in trying to bridge and trying to make space because he knows he can't hang out here. He's got 100 seconds left, and he needs to make every single one of those count. But right now, Pixley is just in total control.
Yeah, it could work to Pixley's favor if Reed is starting to panic and starting to get a little bit desperate. That's usually when we start to make some mistakes, give some openings. Like right now, we see his right elbow flaring up more than normal. That could be a bad sign for him.
Yeah, I see a little look on Reed's face there, a little kind of grimace and a shake of his head. You can see that he's very frustrated. He just cannot get his game going.
Fight.
Yeah, big head and arm control here from Pixley, but we're going to need to see him either advance his position by bringing his left knee up to the stomach, or he needs to dig his head under the elbow and start to connect his hands together here. Almost a little buggy choke attempt here from Reed. Not quite anything locked up, but definitely thinking there that might be his only option with about a minute left.
I mean, it's a risky strategy. It can pay off fantastically, but look at this
big
now.
Reach through.
Yeah, reach through for the north-south choke. We see Pixley now sort of go around, but doesn't have
much
it.
Better. Oh, and another guard recovery here by Reed.
I think the sweat definitely a factor at this point as well. They're so slippery now. They're over 14 minutes into this match, and easier for Reed to slide his head out from that attack. Pixley once again just putting on the pressure and driving through the frame of Reed. Reed trying to move his hips, just cannot go anywhere.
I definitely think we're going to see Reed get desperate here. He's going to be creating some more action, maybe even trying to enter the legs here. Maybe
even stand up. Yeah.
25 seconds left on the clock.
Attempted 15 seconds remaining.
Attempted some head control here from Reed, but it's not going to be enough. Pixley doing a great job of controlling the space. About 9 seconds left here.
Yeah, really, I think that this is a foregone conclusion at this point. The decision pretty clear. Reed coming forward in the dying seconds, but as time is called, we go to our second decision of the night. I think everybody clear who the winner is in that one. Unanimous blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by unanimous decision, Michael Pixley.
Michael Pixley of Pedigo Submission Fighting takes the win here. And who's number one? Very tough, very hard fought, 15-minute match.
2 similar matches back to back. 2 strong wrestlers, top position, multiple passes.
Indeed. Yeah, let's look at the best moments. Chase, talk us through it.
Yeah, the story of tonight's match here with Michael Pixley was the pressure passing, the body lock passing. We did see him open up here with an attack from the north-south position, really stating his intentions clearly. But after that, it was just body lock after body lock after body lock. And Reed was really not able to get off any significant offense beyond just defending himself. So really well done from Michael Pixley, showing off an impressive wrestling pedigree, as well as some jiu-jitsu skills that he's been picking up with the boys over at Pedigo Submission Fighting.
It's not an easy task to make that transition, to go from one grappling art to another. But Michael Pixley, you have done it very successfully. To move from wrestling to jiu-jitsu is no easy task. But those skills, they pay off. Huh? All that investment on the mat, time on the mat is golden, and you put it to work. Good work here, Tezos, who's number one.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the match, Michael. Looked pretty simple to me, the case of control and working your opponent, but man, you look like you were just this close to getting that finish. What was going wrong there?
No, just really stick to the game plan, you know, just stay dominant, all positions, and if the submission attempt came, you know, go for it.
Now the match, of course, you have history with Reed. You'd faced off before, things got a little bit chippy. Was that a factor in this match at all? Looked like a pretty intense start.
Nah, man, it went basically the way I thought it was going to go.
Did he bring anything to the table that surprised you at all in the match tonight? How was the game plan for you?
He didn't really get off any offense, so I just stuck to the body lock pass. He did a good job of just pushing me off of him, keeping the distance, and nah, man, good shit, Cam.
Now, I remember the last time I saw you in action was at the IBJJF World No-Gi Championships, where you just ran through your opponents with a series of choke attacks. You were going for it tonight, right? You were working on that neck.
Yeah, I don't know, he probably knew it was coming, so couldn't really get it off.
No surprise, if you're going to face Michael Pixley, you know what to expect. Tough wrestling and definitely going after the neck. Well, hard fought, 15 minutes. Thanks for putting it on the line here at Tezos, who's number one.
Thank you.
One more prelim match to go. It is a flyweight match between Jessie Crane and Alexa Yanez. And that will round things out before we get underway here with the main card. We'll be right back after this.
This event is presented by Fat Tire, America's first certified carbon neutral beer.
Tonight's event is sponsored by Swain Mats by Dolomir, the official mat of FloGrappling. Swain hybrid mats utilize a revolutionary, low-profile tatami vinyl to create the ultimate grappling surface. Experience the hybrid difference at dolomir.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next match of the evening takes place in the women's flyweight division with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing to the mat first, out of the blue corner, representing Aries Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Dallas, Texas. Here is Jessica Crane.
Jessica Crane, based very close here, pretty much a local competitor. And I'm sure very excited to be able to showcase her skills once again on the Who's Number One mats in front of pretty much what is a hometown crowd.
Yeah, gotta be an exciting moment for her. She's a number 8 ranked strawweight in the world and ready to put on a show, like you said. Welcome back to WNO.
And introducing her opponent out of the red corner, representing Rodrigo Pinheiro Jiu-Jitsu, San Antonio, Texas. Here is Alexa Yanez.
Making her WNO debut is Alexa Yanez, a very experienced black belt, and yet not the most regular face on the no-gi circuit, so brings that little X factor to the proceedings here.
That's right. Even though that may be true, she's definitely got a great leg lock game, specifically some toe holds, which has been the Achilles heel on Jessie Crane in the past, so very interesting matchup ahead of us right now.
Our referee, Rico Bastos, about to get things underway here. We need the lights on to get things underway, and we are go for our third match of the night here. Who's number one?
Fight.
It's definitely one of my favorite matches of the night. I'm super, super excited for this. Alexa, it's important to note that even though she hasn't been super common on the no-gi scene competitively, she is extremely active on the gi circuit, and then she's consistently been training no-gi. So even though she hasn't been competing it as much, she never stopped training it, and in on a leg right away.
Immediately, yeah. I mean, it is no secret that Jessica Crane, whose number one performance is, the ones that she's lost, it has been by leg lock.
And Alexa's locked around the entire body. I think that's a very interesting attack here. She's locked all the way around Jessie's upper body and arms, which makes it very, very hard for Jessie to come up and defend the legs.
She may be hunting for a toe hold right now. I can't really see what's happening down there.
She does have the hands on the grip. I can see the grip. She has it right there. But Jessica Crane, you can see trying to kick off those grips. And the long legs of Yanez makes that triangle so powerful, right?
Yeah, this has got to be a frustrating position for Jessie Crane. She's
looks
really
very composed, though.
She looks composed, but definitely in danger at the moment here.
Very much so. Yeah, Alexa Yanez is in a very strong position to get the submission here, but Crane looks incredibly calm.
Well, the thing about this position, though, that it's a little bit hard to tell, is she has a strong lock around the body, but she has no isolation of the leg. So it does make it hard to finish the leg attack if the leg is not included inside Alexa's legs.
Adjust the grip once again now, has the toe hold grip. She has the hand positioned correctly, but does she have the correct leverage to be able to finish that submission? The look on Jessica Crane's face says no so far. And you'd have to think, oh, switches to the other foot.
Yeah, without any control around the leg, Alexa doesn't have any isolation of leg. It's going to be very hard to finish this, but it does make it very hard for Crane to move because her body is locked inside the triangle of Alexa.
They have to think, after those performances here, who's number one, that Jessica Crane lost by leg lock, I would have imagined she would have dedicated time to addressing those mistakes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we might see Alexa at some point try to unlock and bring one of her knees to the inside position so she can start getting some more isolation of the hips and the hamstring, but she hasn't been able to do that just yet.
It's a great observation. You can see, of course, as well, that Crane is trying to improve her position and hand fight, and this is actually a little bit better now. You may see Yanez try to open up that triangle.
Yeah, it's going to be much better for Jessie if she can come up to both of her knees and start to open that triangle up.
It's on again.
Yeah, from this position, you can get some torque on the foot, but because Jessie's able to use that left foot to kick it off over and over, I think it's going to be very difficult to get the finish. So we're going to see Jessie probably come up to her knees, or Alexa's going to have to release and try to bring her knees inside. Jessie being pretty cautious here, just a little bit patient. She doesn't want to leave her feet out dangling unnecessarily, but she is trying to come up to both of her knees and maybe use her arms to swim inside the legs, open that triangle up. But we can see on her face she doesn't look too worried about the leg attacks here. Kind of hand fighting here, going through on the right arm of Alexa, taking some of the pressure off.
I'm amazed actually by the persistence here and the game plan, sticking to the attack very stubbornly and working on it. I think that Yanez's game plan is so clear and she's not deviating from it one bit.
Still with the composure on the face of Jessie, kind of looking at the referee as well, you know, with a nice calm face. I think as soon as she gets that foot free, we will see a little bit more insistence to come up now to start getting some more action going.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Crane hasn't made any attempt to open the legs of Yanez. I think she knows that's keeping her a little bit safe and the leverage is not optimal for Yanez. And that's going to be the critical moment here in this match is when does Yanez open her guard and what position do they end up in?
Exactly, right? If she can get a nice bite on the leg before she opens and then opens quickly and shoot into more of like a knee bar position or a better finishing position, she's going to be in good shape. But Jessie, she's doing a good job of kind of walking her knees back over and over here to not let Alexa's hips get too close. But I think we'll maybe see her try to bring her elbows inside. She does have to be careful with the triangle, though, if one arm gets stuck. But now we have a bit of a deeper position from Alexa. Still doesn't have isolation of the leg, though, with her legs. And now kind of off to the side and more of a perpendicular position. Not quite what we want to see when we're trying to finish that knee bar.
I'm wondering, yeah, if she is going to open that and go for the knee, because she's got a pretty good underhook off the thigh, right? She's got a pretty good grip there, but opening that lock around the waist is so risky, right? She's got a moment to make it work, and if she gets it wrong, Crane could counterattack.
Yeah, it is hard to say, though, because if she doesn't open it, it's only gonna, you know, she's not really able to finish here. Now we see inside position with that left knee. This is much better for Alexa here, unless it turns into a smash pass from Jessie. But Alexa's hips come on top. This is exactly what she needs to be doing here. This is a great position for Alexa.
That triangle around the waist unlocked and now offers Crane the opportunity to counter-attack, but Yanez is still in a pretty solid position.
Judges favor Alexa Yanez.
Yeah, and I think that the persistence in the face of the submission attack and the control is really shutting down Jessie Crane. 100% easy to see why the judges favor Alexa Yanez at this point.
I think we see Alexa pull on that heel and open up the leg towards her head, the leg with the band on it, then she can start to get the angle she needs for the knee. Otherwise, Jessie's continuing to be able to drop her right hip down. It's going to make it very hard to get that extension that Alexa needs for the knee bar.
Heavy pressure there from Crane, fighting her hands inside as well. She can sprawl that leg back, kick it out. She may even be able to go straight into a guard pass or go to the back, but that grip, the palm-to-palm grip, the S grip of Alexa Yanez is very powerful so far.
Yes, this is a very difficult position because if she can sprawl her leg back, she can pass, but if it gets sucked back in, she's going to be in danger. But now we end up in a more of a 50-50 position here.
I believe that they call this the outside ashi. My leg lock terminology.
Oh, on a heel hook here from Jessie Crane.
Counter-attack. And that was dangerous.
Big heel hook from Jessie.
Huge reaction there from Alexa Yanez. She knew she was in trouble, and Crane's still on it.
Wow, that is on. The knee is still inside.
Yeah, and Crane couldn't be happier with this turn of events here. She's on the offense and really chasing this heel hook.
Hard to see the grip exactly if it slipped out or not. I think it has, yes, the into now. This is the 50-50, and that is the danger of hanging out in that position, because your opponent can fire off a heel hook in the blink of an eye, and Yanez was in serious trouble there. That, I feel, was way more significant than any of her toe hold attacks earlier.
Definitely got a bigger reaction here, and we see Yanez now looking to maybe start on her toe hold attack series again. But now things are much more even, as pointed out. Consequence of this 50-50 position here.
Well, literally 50-50, the name it sort of says, isn't it? That they both have the opportunity to attack. It's literally half and half. And if one opens up, the other one can counterattack and vice versa. Again, looking to try and dig out that heel. Yanez a little more careful now. She's on the toe hold.
Yeah, the toe hold versus heel hook battle is kind of a risky game to commit to.
Oh, there's another heel hook. Yanez taps. Jessica Crane gets the submission, the inside heel hook.
What a comeback from Crane after being tied up in that awkward position for so long.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by way of inside heel hook submission, Jessica Crane.
Jessica Crane of Aries BJJ, in front of her hometown crowd, addresses the mistakes of her past, leveled up her leg lock game, and wins via submission here at Tezos, who's #1. What an impressive performance indeed. You know, it is not easy to withstand some of those positions that she found herself in. That body triangle, the leg lock attack, a full 5 minutes of defense pretty much. Then, of course, when it went into this 50-50, you can see it right here. The leg lock attack she had to contend with.
Yeah, she was very patient, very composed, and then once the leg was open, it was on. She was ripping those great attacks by Jessie.
Yeah,
Really
she took
great
the words
game
out of my mouth. We were talking about toe hold versus heel hooks, and here we see the finishing movement there from Jessie Crane. Powerful lock, and takes home the W.
Huge extension into the knee joint as well. You can see that not just the rotation, but also bridging the hips up and into the knee. And Yanis had no choice but to tap out. Jessica Crane, that was an incredible submission, very powerful heel hook. You must be very happy right now.
I'm very excited. A lot of my teammates came out to support, and this is my city, so I'm gonna represent. I know a lot of people keep thinking I don't know heel hooks. I get there, but I made progress, and you can keep counting me out, but you know, I wasn't worried at all, and I did what I needed to do, so I'm excited. I'm gonna spend the night watching good matches and celebrating.
Well, I mean, let's say how it is though, right? That you definitely found yourself in some difficult positions in the past. You learned from those mistakes, and it looks to me like you leveled up your leg lock game as a result, because you look comfortable in the defensive situations, but then you fired back with an attack of your own.
Yes, I did. I know that, you know, I think it was a good assumption for a lot of people to think that I have gotten submitted 3 matches on Who's Number One by heel hook, and I've definitely made progress. You know, I don't go back to the gym and forget about my matches. I work on it every day, and if you watch each match, even if I lose, I progress, and I fix mistakes, and I'm going to keep doing that because I want to be the best in my division. The girls in my division are stacked, but I'm coming, you know. I'm going to be here for a long time, so they're not going to get rid of me.
Well, it was a great submission. We love to see her here at Tezos Who's Number One. Congratulations, Jessica Crane.
Thank you so much.
High-profile no-gi grappling matches. You can watch them all exclusively here on out on FloGrappling.com. I hope you enjoyed the action so far. Head on over to our website for the rest of the show because it is going to be banging. We'll see you soon.
This Tezos Who's Number One is brought to you by Tezos, the energy-efficient blockchain and official partner of Flow Sports. Tezos, designed to evolve, built to empower. Visit Tezos.com to learn more.
The Tezos blockchain is designed to be different. It's built to be powerful but flexible, allowing even the most rigid of frameworks to evolve and update over time. This means you don't have to choose between stability and innovation. It's how an ecosystem with differing priorities and specialties can take the best ideas and implement innovative, adaptive solutions without disruption. Tezos is a network built to last, designed to seamlessly adapt to the mysteries of tomorrow. Stronger today than ever before, and even stronger tomorrow. When great new ideas emerge, Tezos will be ready. And so will you. Tezos, designed to evolve, built to empower.
I'm on my way home. I'm on my way back to stay. I can't do without you another day. Oh, baby, I'm on my way home.
The sport of jiu-jitsu provides so many with a bigger purpose. You're faced with so many challenges in the sport, including skin infection. And that's our mission. Defense Soap was created out of the need to fight back. And that's our goal here at Defense Soap. To defend what you have built.
Jiu-jitsu is one of the best things that I've ever done in my adult life, and I know that the people I train with who've now become my friends feel the same way.
Shortly into my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu journey, I met Pedro Marinho.
I jumped at the opportunity to sponsor Pedro, and honestly, I'm not surprised at all at his recent success. It's been awesome for me to not only meet all these great people, but also have a chance to give back.
Hello and welcome to Tezos, Who's Number One? Craig Jones versus Pedro Marinho, presented by Fat Tire. We're coming to you live from the Sports Academy near Dallas, Texas. I'm your host, Hollywood Mike. Joining me tonight, two-time black belt no-gi world champion Kendall Rusing. On the far end over there, 10-time black belt no-gi world champion Kyle Otero. So we just finished the prelims, about to go to the 6 matches on the main card, only available on FloGrappling.com. 3 title matches, 6 matches total. First off, let's kick it off. Let's talk about the first title matches that's starting this event off. Mikey Musumeci defending his bantamweight 135-pound title against Esteban, the Giant Slayer, Martinez. Mikey was a heavy favorite when these lines opened up. Mikey's 4-1 at this event. He is the defending champion. Kyle, what do you think about this matchup here?
I think of all matches, this will be the most one-sided match. I really believe that it will be hard for Esteban to get the victory. But it will be it will be very exciting because Esteban's best attribute is his pace, you know? And if he can keep the pace high, maybe he can get Mikey tired. Because in the gi, Mikey might be able to slow him down, but since there are no grips, maybe Esteban can do something unpredictable and shock the world.
Kendall, what do you think would be the path to victory here for Esteban? If he's going to go out there and beat the 4-time black belt world champion Mikey Musumeci, what you got to do?
He's going to have to outpace him. Just like he said, I think he's going to have him getting tired and go crazy. Esteban's so hard to hold on to. I think that is his best attribute as well. But he's going to have to really, really dig deep for that. Mikey's not easy to tire out.
So Kyle, you said this is going to be the most one-sided match. How do you think this match goes down?
It's almost like I can see it happening, you know. I think Mike is gonna go for the legs. He's trying to sell his DVD, you know. So I think he's gonna go for the legs. But Esteban's legs are really small. Mike's legs are small too, so that can counterbalance it. But he's really small to get that tap, I think. And he's a fighter. Esteban's a fighter. I think he's gonna fight out of the submissions. But eventually Mike is gonna come up on top, pass, and probably choke from the back.
All right, there's a good prediction. So the second match of the event will be Jacob Couch taking on David Garmo. David Garmo, late replacement for his teammate Haizam Rita, giving up about 25 pounds in this matchup. Jacob Couch, big favorite to start things off. Kendall, first off, what do you think about this matchup, Jacob Couch versus David Garmo?
I'm really excited for this match. I was excited for the original, but I was actually even a little more excited for the replacement. I think I like the banter between the two. I like the energy between the two athletes. Very, very good vibes. And Garmo's gonna be definitely headhunting, but it's a big head to try to guillotine. So I don't know how that's gonna go for him. You know, it's kind of or even if he can get up that high, if he's gonna have to climb up the body to get that high, I don't think Jacob's gonna leave his head extended.
So Garmo thinks that the Couch's big head's an advantage for him. It sounds like you think that he's gonna be hard to guillotine. I think it's
gonna be hard because you gotta reach your whole arm around that head.
So Kyle,
stay on top, David. Stay on top.
How do you think Garmo's got it?
Nice job. All right, all the way to the back.
There's 2 things.
Yes,
So one is Garmo is not just smaller, but I see a technical advantage for Couch as well. But what he can actually use, you know, to win this match is actually his friendship with Couch. You know, since both are really good friends, maybe he can be like, "Hey, buddy, come on, this is mine," you know. But
a little too friendly.
Yeah, let me get one. Yeah, Couch is a nice guy. He might do it.
No, in all seriousness, both of these guys always go for it. You know, I think this can be the most exciting match because they're always going for the finish from the beginning to the end. This is the match that I'm most sure that will end in a submission. Whether Garmo or Couch wins, it will end in a submission. So if Garmo can, you know, when he has the opportunity, not fail in it, you know, maybe he can be the winner. But I see Couch coming out with a win with an inside heel hook.
All right, now on to the third match of the night. BSM, Brianna St. Marie versus Amanda Tubby Alkin, a women's 125-pound match. Looks like Tubby was the favorite, minus 260 to open up. We're saying this is sort of a #1 contender match for Fionn Davis. Kendall, this is a hell of a matchup. 2 submission hunters, 2 very exciting athletes. What are you thinking about this one?
Oh, I'm so excited. This is probably my favorite match on the card. Tubby, the tie-dye terror, as we like to call her, is going to come out. She's going to be firing away. She's extremely dangerous in her scrambles. Great leg attack. She's finished them some of here before on the Who's Number One stage. But BSM, Brianna St. Marie has an incredible way of slowing down scrambles and pouring on the pressure and really taking centimeters and inches away from her opponents. And I think, that could be a really big problem for Tubby, too.
Should you call her Tubby the Tie-Dye Terror?
Tubby the Tie-Dye
All right,
Terror.
we're stacking nicknames
She
on
got-
top of
she
nicknames
got a
up here.
Tubby on a chain as well. Big gold chain. She's
Tubby's a
gangster.
G. Tubby's a straight-up G. Kyle, what are you thinking about this matchup here?
This is another exciting match. Both of these girls will go for the submission from the beginning. The thing is, I think Brianna has such a good guard, but she doesn't pull guard. So Tubby will most likely pull, and Brianna will most likely play Tubby's game. But Brianna is also amazing on top, and it's really unpredictable. If I had to bet, I would bet on Brianna just because the odds are better for her.
All right, Kyle Terry putting his money on BSM. All right, on to the fourth match of the main card. Nick Rodriguez, Nikki Rod, taking on Elder Cruz. Elder Cruz giving up a bunch of weight here, similar to the Garmo match, about 20 pounds, like 19 pounds. Nikki Rod, big favorite here. He's an ADCC silver medalist, a lot more accomplished, bigger name than Elder. But this is going to come down to wrestling. Everybody seems to think. You've got a wrestling background. How do you think this matchup goes, Kendall?
I really like this matchup as far as the wrestling goes, but in wrestling, I think weight makes a really, really big difference, a little more than like some guard play tends to do. So I really don't see Elder taking Nikki Rod down. I think he could potentially fire off some takedowns and put him on his back, but I do not see him sticking Nikki Rod to the ground for like a full 3 to 5 seconds. I see him maybe taking him down and Nikki reversing position or coming back up on top and going into some throws of his own. But I see a lot of scrambles on the feet here. I'm very excited.
How about you, Kyle? Do you agree with what everybody seems to think, that whoever ends up on top is going to win this match?
If someone ends up on top, both can scramble out, right? But if someone's gonna put someone down, it will be Nick Rodriguez. Elder has really good wrestling, is very creative, is very hungry. He wants this, right? But Nicky Rodriguez is just more athletic. It's not just bigger, he's so much more athletic, Elder is also, very athletic, but Nicky Rodriguez is like such an athlete. So
an acrobat.
Yeah.
An acrobat, a gymnast.
All
right, let's move on to our co-main event here at Tezos, Who's Number One, presented by Fat Tire. This is a hell of a matchup here. Welterweight matchup, 170 pounds. This is going to be for the first ever champion in this weight class. Tai Ruotolo, 18 years old, still turning 19 at midnight, going for his second belt already at Who's Number One. His brother just won Grappler of the Year tonight. He's going up against the Xanadu God, the dark, evil version of the Xanadu God, Levi Jones-Leary. This is a match that I don't know what the hell is going to happen. Tai's a big favorite. Kyle, how would you analyze this match technically going into it?
This can be analyzed in so many different ways, right? But the thing is, Levi fights better when someone is pushing the pace against him, and Tai is someone that pushes the pace. However, the problem with that is that Tai isn't someone that just pushes the pace, it's someone that never stops pushing the pace. So I can see Levi getting tired. And the problem of getting tired is that Levi play with scrambles, because Berimbolo is all scrambles, right? And when you are tired, it's hard to think fast. And in a scramble, you have to think extremely fast, So if this fight goes longer, like I can see Tai winning after the 10-minute mark. But if it goes short, Levi does have a chance of getting a better scramble and maybe getting, wrapping up on Tai. I don't think it's going to happen because Tai does pass really well. I can see Tai passing almost like a Toriano type of pass and then switching for his knee cut, because that's something that he really likes to do. And when the person defends, he usually go for the scramble. But in this case, I think he's going to go for the guillotine instead in the beginning of the rounds, get him tired. Levi is probably going to defend with a knee shield, like he defends his guard retention. But I can see Levi getting tired, and at the end, Tai will just push and finish.
Yeah, it's always a good time when there's a Ruotolo brother on the mat. Always exciting matches. Kendall, this is sort of the opposite of the last match we just broke down. The fourth match is going to be a wrestling battle. They're saying they're going to bolo each other. Who do you think's got the better no-gi bolo here?
I would say that Levi has really technical bolos, but I'm excited for Tai, just like you said, to push the pace. I think Levi does his best performance under pressure, and I think if Tai's pushing the pace, I think Levi might find a way to the back. And then I think that's what you're going to have to do if you want to beat Tai Ruotolo. You're going to have to get on his back.
Kyle, if Tai does play sort of the double pull bolo position, do you think he can hang with Levi in that position?
In the beginning of the match, it will be hard. But Tai is so creative. Both of these guys are so creative, and they're always innovating. So it's hard to predict something there, because they might just create something on the moment out of their instinct and just like, whoa, everyone.
All right, on to the main event. Who's number one? Tezos, who's number one? Craig Jones versus Pedro Marinho, presented by Fat Tire. We have Craig Jones, 4-0 on this event. Undefeated, 3 submissions, 3 quick submissions. Going against Pedro Marinho, the reigning IBJJF Black Belt Nogi World Absolute Champion, won his weight and the Absolute division. This is a great matchup. This is also going to declare our first ever champion in the light heavyweight 205-pound division. This is a matchup. Kyle, you were telling me earlier, this is the one that you really don't know what's going to happen, huh?
Yeah, the reason is this. Craig is extremely technical. You know, he's probably one of the best Nogi guys out there. But if there is a big mistake, a big hole in his fighting, is his strategy. You know, Craig messes up with strategy all the time. And but I think Craig's gonna play the right thing today. You know, because he said he's gonna wrestle him out. You know, and this is the right strategy to play with Pedro Marinho. Because if Pedro is going to play strategy. He plays really well with the rules. And I believe that he's going to pass from far. Never let Craig touch his legs. Go for the guillotine only when he has the chance, you know. But, so if Craig sits down, there's no shot that he's going to, you know, get to the leg. Because when the person plays from far, Craig's always reaching for the leg like a single leg to either try to come up or try to put on the one leg X. And I don't see that happening with Pedro. He can, because Craig is amazing, but I just don't see it happen. Now, if Craig stands up with Pedro, 2 things is going to happen. He's going to either try to get a guillotine on Pedro, which is a plus, because now he's trying to do something, trying a guillotine, and maybe getting it, or landing in a guard. And if he lands in the guard, it's perfect, because now he has his legs wrapped around Pedro, and he can attack from that position. But you have to also see that Pedro is an athlete, right? And Pedro Marinho, his physical coach is the same as Pedro Machado, same, you know? And both of these guys are like in their prime. It can't be coincidence that both of these guys have unlimited cardio. So I can see Pedro pushing from the beginning to the end, and this can get Craig tired. So if Craig doesn't get, you know, his legs around Pedro, it could be dangerous for Craig too.
All right, Kendall, so do you think Craig is really not going to pull guard? Do you think he's trolling us? Do you think he's playing some strategy here? Do you think he's really going to wrestle with Pedro? What's going to happen?
I think he's going to wrestle. But I do see a position where he maybe wrestles into ending up on the bottom in a guard pull position. Or, you know, he gets taken down and ends up playing guard from there. But I think Kyle's right. The pace is really going to set things apart here. I think Pedro has an unlimited gas tank. Craig is incredible, but I see with a 15-minute match, Pedro being able to play safe and wear him down and hunt for the head.
All right, so let's go ahead and make our picks and get the matches going. First match of the night, the bantamweight title. I'm going Rigatoni 316. My man Mikey Musumeci. I think he's going to be too much for the big show for Estevan. Who are you going with, Kendall?
I gotta say Rigatoni as well.
Rigatoni. What about you, Kyle? You already said earlier. He already said earlier.
If someone has money, just put on the table and, you know, let's do this.
Kyle's saying bet the house on Mikey Musumeci. Darth Rigatoni might celebrate with a little Mountain Dew over there in the interview area. Second match of the night, Couch versus Garmo. I'm going to Hillbilly Hammer.
Jacob Couch.
All 3 for Couch, so we're unanimous so far going through. And now we're on to the next match, BSM versus Tubby. This is a hell of a match. I don't want to pick this one first. You go first, Kyle.
I go with Bia. So Brianna's gonna win I think because I want to make more money.
Brianna,
hardest choice for me, but I have to say Tubby by a hair.
I'm gonna go with Brianna St. Marie. BSM's a hell of an athlete, hell of a competitor. I'm gonna say Tubby edges this one out based on experience. She's a much more experienced competitor. What's up?
Can I get more money if I say Brianna by arm lock?
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
Yeah,
no, they got prop. So you're saying Brianna by arm lock?
Yep.
Why are you so confident it's gonna be by arm lock?
Her arm locks are so sharp, you know, whether it's from guard or from top, you know, close guard, that high guard arm lock, really sharp, and she can get arm locks from every position. Sometimes she's in the guillotine, she goes for the arm lock, she's in the Kimura, she switches to the arm lock, so I'm pretty sure that if it's going to happen, a submission from Brianna, I think it's going to be the arm lock.
All right, now on to Nicky Rod versus El Monstro. Who you got in this one, Kendall?
Nicky Rod.
Can I do a fun fact here really quick?
Let's hear this fun fact.
So the thing with this match is, I do think Nick Rod's gonna win. You know, I think he's slightly better wrestler and he's more athletic. But Nick Rod, when he started fighting jiu-jitsu, right? He was a blue belt and he was always competing against all these top-level black belts. He had nothing to lose because he was just a blue belt. This time is pretty much the first time that he's fighting someone that he's supposed to win, you know? So I am excited to see how this match is going to play because we never seen Nick Rod having to win. He's going to have to push the pace in this match. And if you push the pace in with Elder, Elder is also really athletic.
So you're taking Elder?
I'm taking Nick, but I can see Elder beating him too.
Yeah.
Elder's no joke. Elder's really good.
El Mastro's no joke. El Mastro's, yeah. IBJJF, he's won everything. All right, I'm going to go with Nicky Rod as well, so I think we're unanimous there, but, I mean, it'd be a hell of a win for El Mastro if he pulled this fight off. On to the welterweight title match, the co-main event, Ty Ruotolo versus Levi Jones-Leary. I'm going to go Ty. I'm going to say Ty's just got too much experience, no gi. I mean, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if Levi pulls this off. He's a hell of a competitor, but I'm going to say Ty becomes the champ at 18 years old and then, you know, turns 19 tonight.
I'm going to copy and paste you. I'm going to quote you directly. I agree.
If it was gi, I would pick Levi, but no gi, it will be Ty.
How do you think Ty does it?
I think I'm pretty sure it will be over 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I think he will end up getting the submission. I think it will be not from really a scramble, but from a darce or a guillotine, you know, out of a pass, out of a knee cut, you know, but this is so unpredictable. Levi could also win.
So you're not betting the house on this one?
I'm not betting the house at all. I'm not even betting on this.
I'm not either. All right, on to the main event, Craig Jones versus Pedro Marinho. Wild match. Like Kyle said, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to go with Craig Jones winning here. I think he's too good under this rule set.
I think it's going to be Pedro by choke.
Can I get draw?
Huh?
Can I get a draw? No, a draw. I want a draw
No,
here.
you can't pick a draw.
You're
the tiebreaker. I said Craig. She said Pedro by guillotine.
I say under 10 minutes, it's Craig. Over 10 minutes is going to be Pedro.
Well, it's over 10 minutes today.
So let's see.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
All right, so we're pretty split here on the main event. People picking both sides. Let's go ahead. We're going to go to the main card, get the action going. Tezos, Who's Number One, presented by Fat Tire. Tune in afterwards for the post-show with me, Kyle, and Kendall.
This Tezos Who's Number One is brought to you by Tezos, the energy-efficient blockchain and official partner of Flow Sports. Tezos, designed to evolve, built to empower. Visit Tezos.com to learn more.
The Tezos blockchain is designed to be different. It's built to be powerful, but flexible.